Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to share a personal story that I think a lot of people might relate to. Although it might be uncomfortable, I think it's still relatable. I want to talk about how we were able to buy a house after an eviction. It was definitely a journey with plenty of lessons learned, and my hope is that I can give you something that you can take from our experience so that anybody else who's in this type of experience or facing a similar challenge can work through. So we're going to dive into a couple different things. So make sure you watch to the end where I share some of the tips that helped us the most. So you're probably wondering what happened. Well, what happened was we got evicted with 2 kids under 3. But if you want to hear the full version, we initially were living with family. And while it was a blessing to be able to live with family, it wasn't easy. Living with family meant we didn't have the sense of independence that we might have been looking for. And it didn't help that my husband was living with his family and I was living with mine. That's just the way that it worked. There just wasn't enough space. That's just how it was. It wasn't anything funny or shady going on. So living with family felt a bit restricted. I remember feeling guilty about buying things for myself, even if it was like a shirt from Walmart. And yeah, like I had to justify making small purchases because I was living at home again and I didn't have enough money to buy a rental or get a rental. And it just felt really tough to be in a place like that mentally and emotionally. So for this reason and some other reasons, which you can find in this video here, we decided to explore rent-to-own options. We were able to find a single-family home in our area that we did qualify for with the standard 3.5 times the rent income. So we knew that we could afford it because we were approved. But what we didn't consider was the extra cost on top of rent, like the things that are associated, like us having to pay daycare, utilities, insurance, basic maintenance, like lawn maintenance, trash, just things we were too young and naive to know about. So I added up quickly and we found ourselves overextended. So when you're overextended financially, you have to make decisions that might not feel comfortable. So that's when things got really tough. And eventually we couldn't keep up with the rent. So we were evicted. It sucked, but that's what it was. So how did it happen? Like, you know why it happened. This is how it happened. And if you want to know what an eviction is, if you're unsure, we'll go ahead and clip the video here. So we thought that we had found a pretty good solution with the rent to own option, but things didn't go as planned. I had to go on maternity leave earlier than expected, which really impacted our finances because we ended up losing money faster than what we thought. And eventually, and unfortunately, the landlord was unwilling to work with us. And legally, they didn't have to, but it still felt really cold when we were going through this situation. So I can remember when the notice came, it came like a week before I was due to give birth to our second son. And we found out that we had to leave for sure. So we went to the hospital knowing that when we came home, we had to pack. So the next few weeks were like a whirlwind full of packing up with a baby and a toddler, and it's just really stressful. So I'm going to share with you 3 tips that we used to overcome in the eviction that put us in a position to be able to purchase our house within a year. So once we moved out, we decided that this experience would not define us. We were going to overcome it and we were going to rebuild. So the first thing that we did is we increased our income. So I was able to get a job that paid me 50% more than what I was making at my previous job. So that was the biggest thing, the increase of income, right? The second thing is we reduced our expenses. When we got strict about our budget, we knew we had to save. We knew we had to pay off the eviction. So we had to be really, really strict about it. The third thing is we made a payment arrangement with the landlord to negotiate a payment plan that aligned with our goal to move into our next place. So we wanted to make sure that we paid them on time each month, but that it would prevent it from being reported to the credit bureau. So the arrangement was, hey, we'll pay you this time every month. In exchange, you won't report this to a collection bureau and you're not going to have this impact us. If we don't pay, we understand the ramifications will come, and they agreed to that. So the last thing that we did after that is we took the time to deal with our finances and our credit on the back end. So if you're dealing with an eviction or facing a similar situation, there are some action steps that you can take as far as your credit or working with a professional for free. So for us, the first thing I want to talk about is credit repair. Whether you choose to DIY it or have somebody do it for you, which we can help with both, you want to make sure that the landlord isn't using a collection agency. If they send your balance to a collection agency, then it will be on your credit report. But normally evictions or judgments, they will not show up on your credit report. If it is on your credit report through a collection company, then you want to check for accounting mistakes, making sure that the balance is what it's supposed to be, because that's where you're going to find your error to see if you can have it diluted or disputed from off of your credit report. Again, the link for DIY or done for you credit repair is below. The second thing that you can do if you don't feel comfortable doing that is reaching out to a HUD-approved housing counseling agency. It can be a lifeline for you because it's free and it's professional services, and they have to do what they got to do. So it's a great resource if you need help with getting back on your feet. And sometimes they can link you to rental programs that can help you catch your rent up before you get evicted or help you afterwards. So although our journey was difficult, it taught us a lot. And buying a home after eviction seemed impossible at one point, but with patience and a plan and some strategy, you can do it because we made it happen. And not only did I do it for me, but I've been able to teach people how they can purchase a home within 11 months of any financial hardship. So although this was a tough situation, you can get out of it. You understand what I'm saying? So just look forward to the good that comes with it. I want to thank you so much for watching this, and remember to like and subscribe and hit the bell so that you can be notified of any of my financial literacy videos that come out with credit tips and home ownership advice and things of that nature. So I hope to see you on the next one, and I really do appreciate you for sticking through to the end with me. If you have any questions, be sure to drop them below. If you're going through an eviction, you can make it through it. It's going to be okay. All right, thanks.